Right, here's the question for today. There's a couple of questions here, and this is sort of like carrying on from the last set of questions I did with two-way tables with you. So we've got this survey of 416 passengers on a flight from Vancouver to Auckland, collecting data recording leisure activities of the passengers on the flight. This showed of the 416 passengers, 231 watched movies, 172 read books, and 37 didn't watch either movies or read books. So on this particular two-way table here, they've left lots of areas blank, and you need to fill them out to be able to answer the questions. You don't actually get any grade for filling this table out. It's just that you need to do it to answer questions. And the key point is to read through, fill in what you can, and then you can work out the rest. So if we have a look at this information, we see that 231 passengers watched movies. So this is your watched movies here. So a total of 231 of them watched movies. 172 of them read books. So this is your read books one. So 172 read books. And then 37 of them didn't watch any movies or read books. So didn't read books or watch movies, that goes into the square here, that's 37. So now what we can do is we can basically go through and we can start filling in the rest of the gaps. Okay, and that's what we're going to do. So let's do that. 231 plus what equals 416? Well, that's 185. So we've filled in that. 172 plus what equals 416 down the bottom here? Well, that's 244. Now we can fill in these last three slots. So 244 minus 37 is equal to 207. And then we can work horizontally now. So 185 minus 37 is 148. So therefore 148 plus what equals 172 will also add to that. So that must be 24. So now we've got all the information to be able to answer some questions. And here is the first question. What proportion of the passengers read books and watched movies on the flight? So this is proportion of the passengers, so we know we're dealing with all of the passengers, and how many read books and watched movies. So you'd go down the read books and watched movies, you're dealing with kind of like the intersection between these two options. So there's 24 passengers that not only read books but also watched movies. So the answer to that is, I'll go back actually, I'll put it next to the question. So 24 over 416 is the answer to that question. You don't need to simplify it, you don't need to put it into a percentage or a decimal, it's just asking for the proportion. So a fraction, an unsimplified fraction, is fine. The second and last question, so this is a nice short task today, is what percentage of those passengers that read books did not watch any movies? So there's two key parts to this because this is a merit question. So first of all, they're asking for a percentage. So we need to make sure our answer is as a percentage. Secondly, we need to ask what part of the table up above there covers what they're asking for. So just using my yellow ink now, what of those passengers that read books? So there's a condition there, passengers that read books. So we know that there's 172 passengers that read books. So we know that our fraction to begin with is going to be over 172. And how many of them did not watch any movies? Well, there's 148. Okay, now you're not finished yet because we were specifically asked for a percentage, and 148 divided by 172 or over 172 is not a percentage. We have to convert that to a percentage. So the way we do that is we find out what that is as a decimal and we times it by 100. And so as a decimal, that is 0.860 to 3 decimal places times 100, which therefore equals 86.0% of the passengers that read books did not watch movies. Watch movies. Okay, and that's how you answer that. That's actually an R question. The previous question, just as a matter of interest, was a U question, just so you know. And that's all for this task.